Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Mortal Kombat Classic Scorpion. I got this guy from the McFarlane toy store, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, ages 17 plus. This is not a toy. I always think it's hilarious when McFarlane puts it on stuff. This is a toy, just a badass toy. And right next to it, McFarlane Toys. Mortal Kombat Classic Scorpion. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have his hook. The bottom is like a controller. At the back, your Scorpion, a little description, and at the bottom, there's this barcode if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, and then Scorpion's signature hook. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. He's a resurrected ninja dressed in yellow. His primary weapon is a rope dart, which he uses to harpoon his opponents. He has been in every single Mortal Kombat game except for Mortal Kombat 3 as a playable character. Typically, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are enemies, but that is the second Sub-Zero, Cao Lang. He killed the first version of Sub-Zero, and Scorpion has vowed for revenge. Typically, for me, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the two main characters I think about when I think about Mortal Kombat. I guess Liu Kang and Raiden are next. So let's take a closer look. I believe the sculpt, the base body is exactly the same as Sub-Zero, but we'll check that out shortly. He's got the black cap on his head and the yellow mask over his mouth. Wide eyes. And he has this sort of tunic going on, tied down here, and it just screams the original Mortal Kombat games. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, shin armor. I like the texturing on this little tunic thing. Overall looks pretty good. I mean, fairly basic, but everything that I want from a Scorpion Mortal Kombat Classic figure. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Mask looks good. The face, the eyes. And now for his accessories. He doesn't come with a lot, so let's take a look at the boring stuff, which is his display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen plenty of times before. This one says Mortal Kombat Classic on the bottom. And then we have his little sort of hook thing, or his rope dart. As you can see, it comes to a point. We have a little blade, or hook at the end there. And then it's attached to a bendy wire, which can be very useful for posing purposes, as we sort of unravel it. As you can see, it should be able to take all kind of different poses. You can have Scorpion holding onto that blade as it's wrapped around his arm at the same time. And then here's Scorpion launching off that hook toward his opponent. The only differences between the single version of Scorpion and the 2-pack is the 2-pack one is covered in blood. Their eyes are both white. Everything else is exactly the same. And to look at the reuse differences and similarities between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And I do believe it's 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. Hell, I even think it's the same head sculpt. I mean, if you look at the mask, I do believe they're the same. Just the eyes are white on him. And he has fully painted eyes here. But everything else is exactly the same. Just yellow replaced with blue. And that makes sense as they looked exactly the same in the game as well. We now have 6 of these Mortal Kombat figures that utilize the exact same base body, and there are still more they can crank out, and tell you the truth, I welcome them. And now, did they reuse any parts between the Mortal Kombat Classic Scorpion and the Mortal Kombat 11 version? And the answer is no. The Mortal Kombat 11 version is sort of a modernized version of Scorpion, but I always wanted the original OG version, and we finally have him. They both have their signature masks, and sort of hood or cap, whatever. The wide eyes. Now, this guy feels like he's more of a softer, gummier plastic. This guy feels like a lot harder. More like a Mortal Legends. More like OG McFarlane. A lot of similarities, but different at the same time. You can tell the Mortal Kombat 11 is sort of a quote-unquote modernized version of the classic OG look. And now that we're taking a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head. Of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down that much. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does not have the typical butterfly ring because his tunic covers up that gap. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged. His torso, he does have a ball joint here, but with the way the tunic is, it's pretty much useless. Yeah, it can rotate a littlest bit. Another ball joint in the waist. You can rotate around, and it does stick at least with some of the poses. Forward and back. You can see how it kind of bunches up when you do that. Legs, complete as the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal at best. They go forward, but kind of go to the sides. That far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock. And toe articulation. Here's a look at Scorpion holding and throwing that rope dart right towards you. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Mortal Kombat Scorpion figures. Here are both of the Mortal Kombat Classic Scorpion figures, the single release clean version and the 2-pack bloodied up version. And here he is next to the Mortal Kombat 11 modernized version of Scorpion, which they made 5 versions of from Mortal Kombat 11. Giving us a total of 7 McFarlane Mortal Kombat Scorpion figures. Now let's check them out next to some other Mortal Kombat Classic figures. Here's the entire first wave: Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, and the Red Platinum Katana. And then, next to the Wave 1 2-pack, Sub-Zero versus Mileena. And here, with the Wave 2 singles, Reptile and Raiden. And with the Wave 2 2-packs, Scorpion versus Raiden, and Reptile versus Liu Kang. Here's McFarlane's entire Mortal Kombat Classic collection. We have a total of 12 figures and 7 characters: Liu Kang, Katana, Mileena, Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. Now I have no idea what's next in store for the line. I assume there's going to be a Wave 3 with some single releases and some 2-packs. My guess is right now McFarlane's just kind of sitting back and waiting to see how everything sells for the first couple waves. And hopefully it's doing well. And here's McFarlane's entire collection of Mortal Kombat 11 figures. Although they made a lot, they were mostly paint variants. There were so many characters left on the table. Here's the McFarlane Mortal Kombat Classic Scorpion 7-inch scale, next to a Mezco Mortal Kombat 10 Katana. She's 6-inch scale, and the size difference, I'd say, is definitely more than a full inch. Here's Scorpion, next to a large Scorpion from Hasbro's G.I. Joe line. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and then work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and Diamond Select toys, here's Scorpion, next to a container of black pepper, and here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool Scorpion figure. Now in some ways it's kind of bland, and it's a little bit more of the same, but it's exactly what I want from a classic Scorpion figure. Yes, I would have liked more accessories, more hands, maybe a skull, maybe a bloody hook, I don't know, just some more stuff. For the price point, it feels like a whole lot of reuse and very few accessories. The 2-pack comes with considerably more stuff, but they're just trying to get you to bait you to buy the same figure a second time, bloodied up, which of course I'm a sucker and I'm going to do. If I were to rate this guy, well, sculpt and paint job are excellent. The quality of plastic seems a little bit gummier than old McFarlane, and there's some things I like about that and some things I don't like about that. Accessories are weak. If I were to rate this guy, I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10, and considering the lack of accessories and the price point, I might be being a little bit generous, but I'm really happy to have a traditional Sub-Zero and Scorpion in the collection. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.